Hello everyone. Let's see some common mistakes made by students which as teachers we observe regularly and also learn how not to make them. In part 2, we will learn how to use the distributive property correctly. Let's first understand the property. It says if there are three values a, b and c, then 8 times in bracket b plus c is equal to a times b plus a times c. So this a first gets multiplied with b, the sign which is there that is retained, and then again this a is multiplied with c. So we get the result. Now let us see the common mistakes which students do. For example, if 3 times 2b plus 4c is to be done, many students only multiply this 3 with 2b and not with the 4c. This is incorrect, dear students. So what is the correct method of doing that? We basically distribute the values which are outside the bracket to all the terms inside the bracket. 3 times 2b plus 3 times 4c. The 3 outside the bracket is distributed to all the terms which are inside the bracket. This is a correct method. Now, if we want to do it with more number of terms inside the bracket, the rule remains the same. So this 5a will be distributed with 2b also, 4c also, and minus 6a also. So we get the following result. Now, we move forward to understand the distributive property with a negative term. Here, many times mistakes are done, and let us see where. So if minus 3 is to be multiplied with 2b minus 4c, some students write it as minus 3 times 2b minus 3 times 4c. This is incorrect, students. So what would be the correct method of doing that? Here minus 3 is getting distributed with each term inside the bracket. So the correct result would become minus 3 times 2b minus 3 times minus 4c. This is how correctly a minus sign is distributed inside the bracket. Another shortcut method or direct method of doing the same thing is whenever a negative value is multiplied inside the bracket, the sign of the terms inside the bracket, they change in their result. For example, here minus 3 times positive 2b becomes a negative value and minus 3 times minus 4c, because here minus and minus is getting multiplied, this becomes positive value. So when a minus value is multiplied inside the bracket, the sign of each term inside the bracket is changed. Consider another example. One method of doing it is wherein you distribute minus 5a with 2b, minus 5a with 4c, minus 5a with minus 6a. And in direct method, the minus and minus together becomes plus, like this. So the rule of thumb would be when a negative term is distributed inside a bracket, the sign of each term changes. The positive term becomes negative, the negative term becomes positive. I hope now you will not make any such silly mistakes. Using the same rules of distribution, let us simplify the following expressions for homework. Do share it with your friends whom you think would need it and enjoy learning.